Welcome to another mind map video, and this morning we're going to do a short but gentle practice for loosening up, helping you loosen through your back and your hips and just wake up for the beginning of the day. It's a gentle practice, so it should be available to beginners. So why don't you get yourselves nice and comfortable in some clothing that's loose and you can move around in, and I'll see you back on the mat. Hi! Now, before we start our asana practice today, we're going to just remind ourselves about how we use our breath in our practice. So we're going to be breathing in and out through the nose and try to keep a regular breath pattern. So you might breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. It's not always easy to hold on to that while you're actually in your asanas, but just try and keep an awareness of it and feel what the breath is like as it moves through the body. Generally, when we fold or we twist, we're in an exhale, and often when we open our chest, or we're inhaling, it's an expansive part of the asana. So let's start on all fours on our mat. And it's a short practice, and it's one that I might do in the morning in my pajamas before I get up and go and have a shower. But you could do it at the end of the day when you just want to loosen up from being stiff, sitting in the car driving all day, or at your desk, or all other ways that one can get stiff throughout the day. So starting on all fours with your hips above your knees and your shoulders above your wrists, and with your fingers and your hands opening the fingertips and feeling the pads of your fingers. And in your all four position here, we're starting with a flat back. Your toes are untucked, so you're on the front of your foot on the mat, and you're having a little bit of integrity so you don't slump by just bringing your belly button, feeling like you're tucking your belly in a little bit, like you're trying to reduce your belly. So belly button to spine, we often say. So trying to stay with a nice neutral back to start with, gaze down to the front of your mat. Now pushing out through your arms, so you're pushing away and making sure your shoulders are staying away from the ears. Now from this position, we're going to have a lovely big inhale. Feel that breath moving through our body. And on the exhale, pushing around the back so you come into a lovely cat pose. And as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, raise the head. And exhale, pushing away, rounding the back. Now let's keep this going with the breath. And one more. And come to a neutral spine again. Now stretching out your left foot towards the back of your mat, coming onto your toes and really pushing out through that heel. Keeping your back flat again, gaze down to the front of the back, and then just come backwards and forwards over that heel or over that toe. So this time you're going to feel that you're moving through your wrists, so you're suppling up the wrist a little here. And then come to a stationary position, but take your left leg out to the side and touch the floor. Still pushing out through these shoulders, nice flat back, and then swing the leg around and touch the floor on the other side. So you're crossing it over your right leg. Leg back again. And let's do this another couple of times. Keep pushing out through those arms and shoulders. And this time keeping the leg out to the side, and come onto the inside of that foot. Now this might be enough here just to have a lovely stretch through that inner thigh and just feel what that, because yoga is about feeling in our body. It's not just about the end shape. And of course, if anything feels uncomfortable, then absolutely just stop it, miss out that part and pick up with whatever feels comfy for you. Now, with this leg out to the side, we're going to take our seat bones towards our heel very gently and create a few waves. Now you can feel how you move here through your hip joint on the extended leg, keeping the back quite flat. Gaze again towards the front of the mat between your fingers, but you are gently kind of giving that hip joint a little bit of an oiling. Now if you have a regular practice, of course you might take your heels much closer to your bottom or your bottom to your heels. But actually it's the gentle movement that we're looking for here. Coming back to your flat back, pushing out again through these arms. Make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears and bring that knee back, and let's go to the other side, stretching out through the right leg. Really stretching through the toes and then very gently coming backwards and forwards over your toes. Again, belly button to spine, gaze down to the front of your mat. And just be aware, what's your breath doing? Now taking that right leg out to the side and touch the toes to the floor and lift from the thigh and cross it over the left leg and touch on the other side. Now you're getting a little bit of a side stretch here as you do this. Great for cinching in the waist. And this time leaving your right leg out to the side, and you have got the inside of your toes are pointing towards the front. And again here, very gently, depending on what feels good, gently moving backwards and forwards through this hip joint. You might feel it a bit in the thigh. You might discover, which we all do, one side feels very different from the other side. And depending on where you are in your practice, if you're very new to this, this will be more than enough. And if you have a regular practice, you may come back a little further, but it's not necessary for gaining any benefit really. And when you're ready, bringing your knees back underneath. Now we're going to take the knees as wide as the mat with our toes together. We're going to bring our seat bones back towards our heels as we stretch our hands out in front into a lovely wild child's pose. So just coming back and stretching out, lowering your forehead to the mat. We'll just take a few lovely, we call them nourishing breaths, I guess, because we're encouraging that oxygen to come in and around our body. If it feels difficult to keep the seat bones as close to the heels, then come up a little. You do what's good for you. This is a gentle practice. Be aware of the breath again. Can you feel it move through your body as you inhale? And of course, this is excellent for encouraging the flow of blood and lymph through your body, increasing, decreasing your heart rate variation. The folds, the twists are just super stuff for your vagus nerve, which starts in your gut and goes to your brain, and is very much responsible for where you start to make your serotonin, your happy chemical. So this is all good stuff. Great for your mental well-being. Now slowly, slowly coming up from your position, come back onto all fours, and we're going to bring our right leg forward between our hands. So to do this, you're going to have to come up as you bring your foot forward. Now you're in low lunge. Now you're aiming to have this knee above your ankle. If every now and again it goes here, it's not going to be the end of the world, okay? But this is where you're aiming for. You've got your toes untucked here. So just stabilise yourself and see if you can. You don't want to have your foot too close to the middle because you'll wobble, and you don't want to have it splayed open. So again, a little bit integrity here. If you feel comfortable, then with a lovely inhale, we're going to bring our arms up above our heads. So inhale. And as we exhale, start to bring the hands slowly down in front of us. Bring the palms together. Take another inhale here. And as you exhale, your right hand stays pointing forwards. Take your left hand towards the back of the mat. And you can gaze towards the back of the mat. Bring your hand back with an inhale. Again, just settle the breath. Inhale again, up. And exhale, float the hands back and behind. Clasp the hands behind your back. And pull the shoulder blades together. And maybe raise the chin and arch the back a little. And releasing the hands back to the mat, framing your foot. And bringing this leg back to all fours. And let's do the same to the other side. You're coming up, bringing your left leg forward into a low lunge, knee above your ankle. When you're ready, inhale, coming up. Exhale, slowly bringing the arms still straight, fingers pointing forward, gaze between your hands. Bring your palms together, inhale. And as you exhale, take your right hand towards the back of the mat. Inhale to come back. Settle your breath. Inhale to come up. Exhale, float the hands behind, clasp behind you. Exhale as you pull down and back and shoulder blades together. Really open the chest. Feel the stretch through those shoulders. You're opening, raising that solar plexus, opening the chest. Maybe lift the chin and bringing the hands back down. In framing your foot and stepping back into all fours. Okay, very gently coming on to your seat bone to the side and maybe coming back to your cross-leg position. So thank you for joining me for a really gentle little stretch, little flexion, little twist, opening the chest, considering the breath start to your day. Or, as I said, might be something you use at the end of your day. So do come and join me again back on the mat for another My Mat Yoga videos. So thank you again and namaste.